Last time on a comically long review.
Issue number 4 gets off to a bit of a shaky start with a bunch of science mumbo-jumbo and long-winded exposition in general, but when they get to the part where they invade Brainiac's ship, that's where the action really jump starts. It was fun in a crossover sort of way, seeing the Rangers in the DC costumes, seeing who they pick, what weapons they used, etc. And have I already mentioned that I'm loving this art style? I think I have. Issue number 4 gets a 4 out of 5.
And now, the continuation.
The cover for issue 5 is boring, to be honest. Superman, Green Lantern, and Zack and Trini are floating, falling against a rainbow gradient background of space and clouds. Just doesn't do much for me. We start with a nice touch of reality at NATO headquarters in Brussels. Someone who I assume is the American ambassador to NATO. Again, I'm not a DC fan, so I have no idea if this is actually someone that people who read DC Comics would recognize, says they know why they've gathered. A city has been torn from the earth. An American city. Another ambassador has the natural reaction to that, basically saying, "What are you implying? That another country was involved in the disappearance of Angel Grove?" But Wonder Woman walks in and says that no country was responsible. But remember, this is the Power Rangers universe. Nobody has a clue who Wonder Woman is, so they call for security, who tries to drag her down. Funny enough, she just keeps walking. So they shoot at her, and she deflects the bullets. She uses a firmer voice, telling them that shooting at her is risking civilian lives, and she'll have to get serious if they keep that up. She says she's an ambassador from Themyscira, the home of the Amazons, but since they have no clue what that is, they don't really care. She says they know what happens next, and having made the entrance, she calls in her friends. The Rangers walk in, saying they may look different, but they are the Power Rangers. Of course, this makes no real sense. They'd have no credence with NATO, considering they don't look like the Power Rangers, but, oh well, I guess this works. The Rangers explain what's going on, and they tell NATO that they need to band their militaries together to prepare for Brainiac's attack. Meanwhile, Flash is looking for Lord Zed, but can't find him. Kim says that Zed shouldn't exactly be hiding, and that's when Flash finds him making monsters. And these are giant space worm crabs that really don't fall into Zed's motif, clearly once again Brainiac's critters. I would have liked to have seen a Zed-style monster here, maybe some sort of Bizarro-like Superman monster that he made from an action figure or something. Zed calls for Brainiac's assistance in destroying Earth, and he sends down his grunts. Green Lantern meets them in space to thin out the herd. He asks if Cyborg has Angel Grove, and that transitions us back over to him. This scene, I think, actually gets Zack and Billy confused and mixed up. Superman re-enters and asks what happened, with Billy standing at his side. Zack says, before Trini explains. But it was Billy who stabbed Cyborg, and Zack was further off fighting grunts. The worst part is that they have the weapons that are in Cyborg right. Did they think that Zack stabbed Cyborg with Billy's weapons? It turns out that when you're cybernetic, a couple of stab wounds to the chest are really no big, as he gets up to attack again. But Superman grabs him, and Batman says to hold him still while he reboots him. Superman asks if Vic knows that Batman can reboot him. Hold him still. That's what I thought. I mean, hey, Batman even has a contingency plan for the League if he goes rogue.
Agamemnon Contingency. Codename Detective. While Batman is a master strategist and combatant, he is only human. His parents are an excellent blind spot, as is his endless crusade to protect the innocent.
The reboot works, and Cyborg asks why he has a hole in him. Billy apologizes, saying he had to stab him. So why did they make it seem like Zack did it? Anyway, Billy says he aimed for where he figured his non-essential human bits were. Yeah, who needs silly things like hearts and lungs? Cyborg asks what Batman did to him, and Billy spills the beans, but there's really no time to talk about that just now. They find the room with the bottle cities, with Trini saying they can't just save Angel Grove, they have to save them all. Superman says they will take them back to their universe and work with the Guardians to find them new homes. How exactly do you implement a city and the ground it was sitting on into a new planet? Batman gets the team back on task, though confusingly. He says the attack will have begun, so the defense team is going to need them. I was pretty sure that that was what the defense team was for in the first place. Anyway, Cyborg says the ship records say that Brainiac has taken a prisoner. Someone named Alpha 5? We see Alpha and Brainiac having a discussion, and I'm going to give you some fair warning here. Alpha is written kind of strangely here. He's philosophizing a whole bunch of big ideas. I get showing a juxtaposition between the two robotic characters in these worlds, but writing-wise, Alpha has always been more childlike in his personality. Summing up their conversation, Brainiac wonders why Alpha helps humans when he has achieved so much. He has? Anyway, Alpha says he empathizes with the humans, and the way Brainiac achieves knowledge, capturing the bottle cities, sounds selfish.
And thinking of yourself isn't sentience.
Yes it is. Or, more specifically, it's not directly related to the definition of sentience. The definition of sentience is the ability to sense things. Thinking only of yourself, selfishness, actually reflects an even higher level of thought that would seem to transcend sentience. Anyway, he says it's knowing that you aren't alone, which is also unrelated to sentience, besides that being kind of an advanced thought, I guess. We see the defense team, Jason, Kim, Tommy, and Wendy, fighting the robots at NATO as Alpha keeps babbling on about what he thinks sentience is and still being wrong. Alpha is describing what being a good person, even a hero, is. Standing with others, having others stand with you, thinking of something bigger than yourself. Then he gets another one wrong, saying,
If you bottle lives, you are denying them a future.
You may be denying them a good future, but only killing them would deny them a future at all. Jeez, Alpha's capture must have messed with his circuits. We cut back to the strike team as the Rangers explain Alpha is a friend and they have to rescue him. Batman points out that Brainiac is with him, so they're going to have to do this quickly. Zack says they are, but Soups is obviously faster. He tells them to take Angel Grove and leave. He will save Alpha. Oddly, we see Alpha keep speechifying to Brainiac even as Superman busts into the room where he would clearly interrupt Alpha. Though Brainiac, which is an annoying word to have to type 50 million times by the way, grabbing Soups by the throat as Alpha says,
You halt their progress,
is kinda neat.
I am a 12th level intelligence, Superman. I knew you'd come, and I have something for you.
He reveals a piece of kryptonite, a chunk of Superman's world, which is poisonous to him. Then Brainiac gets stabbed through the chestiac. Trini apparently threw her katana, then she tells Zack and Billy to take him. We see Zack cut off an arm, and then Trini cuts off his head. Guess she figured Billy would just want to examine him, and she just did the rest herself. In a bit that is sort of in character, but also a little too shady, we see Batman catch the kryptonite and pocket it. Yes, Batman is obsessed with contingency plans.
Agamemno Contingency, file code name Last Son. A sample of green kryptonite in Vault 7B, provided by Superman himself, will incapacitate him with brief exposure.
But he and Superman are friends. He would destroy the kryptonite, maybe just save a few little crumbs for scientific study. And he's a dick while doing this, muttering,
We took on Brainiac to save a robot?
Sorry, Bats, not everyone's robot is a gigantic T-Rex. Cyborg says they really need to go now, as slicing apart a robot body doesn't really stop an evil AI. But Billy has an idea, having Cyborg firewall the arm and then take it with them. Batman helps Soups up, which now feels really disingenuous, and unless that pocket on his belt is lined with lead or something, which to be fair, it very well could be, would actually hurt Superman more. We keep seeing Alpha's speech, which has long outstayed its welcome.
To destroy an entire planet and its people, Brainiac, is to destroy all the knowledge they're yet to discover. For a 12th level intelligence, that seems pretty stupid.
Shut up! Superman, recovering conveniently fast from exposure to kryptonite, leaps down. He gives the other Rangers their coins back, though realizes they may not have needed them. Also, doesn't give back the morphers, but then they have them anyway. This is a pretty neat shot of Hawkgirl and the Red Hood morphing into Power Rangers. The rest of the strike team gets off the Javelin, the Rangers reuniting with Alpha. It's good to see you in one piece.
What do you mean, one piece?
The last time we saw you, you were a burning, melting head.
I did not need to know that.
Hey, you asked, Alpha. The Rangers exposited each other a bit, and Billy reveals that he has a plan to beat Brainiac using the arm, but he and Cyborg are going to need time. Jason says they can't risk calling the Zords, but they'll all fight to give them that time. Oh great, another defend them mission. Transitional dialogue.
Yes, you will join the fight.
But it's Lord Zed talking to a monster that looks a little closer to what he normally creates. He tosses a growth grenade at it, but Flash zips in and catches the grenade. Flash realizes he has to do something with it, and seeing that Alpha is the only one that's not actively fighting, he gives it to him. Brainiac moves into a grunt, telling Alpha to give that to him, and that he wants to keep him, but will destroy him. Alpha says he gets Brainiac doesn't have any friends, hence wanting to keep him, but Brainiac is trying to hurt his friends, and he won't stand for that. Brainiac says he doesn't have a choice, but Alpha says he does. You ready for this, heroes? Alpha uses the growth grenade, growing large and starting to fight the monster. Issue number 5 is really a step back up to the level of quality I was expecting from this series. It's not like issue 4 was bad, I still gave it a 4, it's just that this was even better. There was a lot more action, and the Rangers and the League worked together really well. The only downside, and sadly enough it was a pretty big one, was Alpha's conversation with Brainiac. They really struggled to find Alpha's voice, not really getting anywhere close. The things Alpha was saying would sound better coming from Zordon than from Alpha himself. However, issue number 5 still gets a 4.5 out of 5. Of course, this makes absolutely no sense. They'd have no real friends. They find the room of Bottle Cities, with Trini saving. They can't just save. They have to also save. But he and Cyborg need team. I'm assuming that's actually time. Transitional dialogue! Yes, so that's Lord Zed. Issue number 5 is really a step back up to what I expected from this series. Issue 4 was a 4, not pretty good still, but But this was just even better and had come to be what I had expected from this series. The series.